Hello everyone, welcome back to the attic, and we're doing part 2 of our comic book ER Rehab of Villain. That's the A's over there. Anyway, Villain Team Up, number 7. So, got this out of the humidity box, chamber if you will, and we're going to start by getting this, getting the staples out. Now, normally I would have probably pressed this down, but this thing's so beat. I don't think I need to. I think it'll, well, yeah, I don't think I need to. So, what I'm going to do, I like to do this just to keep the book from shifting around when I'm trying to pull the staples. Let's take a nice 5-pound weight. SRP paper. Gently put that on there, and that'll keep it nice and steady for you. Even though I think I want just a little more of that. Take our super awesome, capable staple tool from Immaculate Comics. Google it. That's $9, but I think it's a very, very good price for it. Very good value there. Pull this little fella out, and I also found out from watching one of Rick's videos, Morgan, who is the Immaculate Comics guy. I found out what this is for. It's pretty sweet. I don't need it this time. I'm going to show you next time, or just take a look at some of his videos on his channel. But really cool stuff he's got over there. In the meantime, so this here, it's got this little slot, and that's good for holding this staple steady while you're working, but that's on the opposite end of the process. For now, well, actually, it's not on the opposite. It's been a long day, gang. I tie. I sew tie. I don't even know what's going on. What's my name? What's the name? From the beginning of the process, because we're going to hold that down. I'm going to take this. This is just a basic staple remover, but again, over there, Rick Morgan has something like this, very similar, if not the same, but he has Teflon coating on this part, so you can't scratch the staples, which, when I start working on really nice books, I will probably go in that direction. I want to say that it's $20 for that remover, but this has got a magnet on it. Mine doesn't. Then you take this hole here and put it on staple, and he's got a video where he shows you very closely how to do all that. But hold that like that, gives you plenty of room to get under this one. Don't do that. Do it like that. Just turn it up straight as possible. So these are definitely not straight. Stop it. Rascal, you. Turn it a little bit. Yeah, now the one thing that I saw him do, which is going to help me, which this is probably not necessary, this is probably more of my overthinking of it, but I've been struggling with getting these out. Well, I watched one of his videos where he took the staples out, and I was like, what? That's way easier than what I'm doing. So I'll show you that little method that he does. It's really, really good. For getting them out the other side. So don't need the weight anymore. Fine with that. Now he also does a thing, and I don't have any clips, but he also, or I don't know if does, but did a thing in the video I watched where he put it wasn't a sandwich bag clip, but it was similar, where he clipped these so they wouldn't shift on him. But we're going to be messing around with these pages, so it's not going to matter. What he did was, back to the removing the staple, kind of poke them out a little bit. Oh, these are coming right out. You tap it a little bit, and then you would just use this instead of your fingernail to pull this out. And it comes out super nice. And that one's pretty nice. I'm going to have to get the... I've got a... what do you call it? Not a magnifying glass, but my brain doesn't work no more. Microscope. And I'm going to take a look because I am now not sure it was staple. Rather, I don't know that it was rust on this or not. I'm going to look at it under a microscope. But I believe there's rust on there, which is why I took this off. I'm going to feel silly if it wasn't rust at all. Oh well. Generally the smart people, not me, the smart people would have like some painter's tape or something, and then they would stick these on there and mark them, but I'm not that guy. I just kind of put them over here on the microscope tray, and that's good. Now, from here, we're just going to separate the cover from the book. Set this over here for a second because I will be coming right back to that. But you can see all this stress in here. I mean, it's going to go back together okay, but rough. But one thing I'm going to mess around with on this cover. Just want to see, because I know that you can remove water stains pretty easily on the newsprint, which is the interior. This paper is very forgiving. But this stuff here, so what you want to do, you got to have your trusty tack iron warming up. You're going to take some just distilled water, which you can get at the grocery store or whatever, $1 or so a bottle. And I just want to put a little bit in this. You can have any, and it doesn't need to be a measuring cup. I just have that because it's handy. But you just take a Q-tip. You just want to dab, dab, dab right along that line. And because I like to be silly, because it's a little dirty there, I like to give it a little more. Let it soak that in and think about what it's done. Oof, oof, oof. That's some oof on the other side. And let that soak in just for a second. And then from there, what you're going to do is you're going to get some paper towel. Kapow, kapow. Paper kapow. It doesn't have to be pretty. Because it's a very small spot. And you just kind of put this under here. Put this over here. That is not, it's not a sandwich. It's not going to match. So, boop. And then just something nice and reasonably heavy and flat. I'm going to use this old comic book price guide and just kind of do that. So the excess moisture will be pulled out by the paper towel. So I put paper towel under and over the spot that we're messing with. And just give it a minute. I'm still learning myself, so let's see what this does for us. I'm going to do this, that, and then just take your tack iron and gently see if you can pull some of that out. Now I'm definitely doing a wet bath with this cover, so I just wanted to see if this would work on these lines or not, because there'll be times where I don't want to take the cover off because it's just a corner. But I'm gonna try that again. Which you don't have to do the whole. It's just you want to do where the tide line is. Oh yeah, actually, I should have not done that because it looks like it's still wet on the other side. Oh well. Everything learn. Whoop. Something else the wet baths do, from my experience, is I need that heavy crinkling right there. The divots up here. I'm gonna work those out as best I can. But when you do the wet bath and you get it out for that last out of it, it's been rinsed, what have you. And then you're doing what I'm doing here, but with the whole page. And then you do that. Just check Liberty Hill Comics. Has a great layout of his process. But it allows the paper, as it's drying and the moisture is going into the paper towels, it allows the paper to rest back into a nice flat um, form. And it takes a lot of those crevices, dents, whatever. So if you have to take the whole thing off, if you have to take the whole cover off, then that's a great way to deal with that stuff. If you're not, then there's still ways to do it, but it's not as lovely. Patience is huge in this. So it seems like it's getting smaller, but oh yeah, that's much better there. I wonder if like overdoing it. So I'm gonna just do the water line, which is what I should have been doing in the first place. Because sometimes I get a little ahead of myself and try to do too much of a thing. Because we're not really trying to clean this. We're trying to get rid of the water line. And this same thing works really well on the newsprint. Because it's very forgiving. And just gonna do that. I can't just convince it that it wants to be dry now. See, this is the patience part, is I know I was supposed to do this step there, but I got ahead of myself because I want it to be beautiful now. And you made it worse. Kinda. I'm not gonna make you suffer through this whole thing. I really wanted to get into the newsprint part of it, so I'm gonna just kind of pause this video and goof around with this for a minute and come back in a minute. Save some of my valuable data space. Hang tight, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I was making a little progress with the cover, but with how much it needs to be wet bath anyway, I didn't want to spend too much more time in that. More importantly, I want to get to this. There's two areas I want to show you. So every page through this book has water stains there. If you can really see it, kinda. And then these dimples here. So I'm pretty sure that this process will work very well for this because I've done it with other books. Of course, my technique is I'm in the very green stages of the process. I might be using too much water. I don't even know. I'm putting a little bit too much water because it feels like the whole thing is whatever. See the back side. It looks like little bit. Sit there and think about what it's done. And from there, I don't even put, I mean, we do that like I did before. No, actually, come to think of it, I don't think I did this and it worked fine. Pretty sure. And I'm not even with the newsprint, I'm not even putting SRP paper down. We're just gonna try to get the rest of that paper off, dried. Ooh, that might not just be water. Yikes. That might not just be water. Well, good thing I'm having struggles with this first book. At least we know it's not easy. So I guess I am gonna do that thing again. So I'm pretty sure when I first did it, I did this, but I did it later on in the book I was practicing on, and without this extra step, and it was fine. So I guess it depends on what shortcuts you feel like you can take, and depends on what book and how it's behaving, that kind of stuff. We're gonna do that. Because really, I think there might be just too much moisture in there, and these paper towels will take out the extra stuff. And then I'm just going to dry it off that water line. I think what it does basically is it makes it disappear. But starting to wonder if that's not more than water stain. That might be an actual liquid, which would be sad. So this might be a thing where I have to do, again, this will be an experiment, but I may have to do peroxide and a cleaner, mixture between the both. And this is why we're practicing on these books. I don't want to do this with a Hulk 181 or X-Men #1 or something like that. I definitely want to play with books, older books. Get the lower grade book for a better price, clean it up a little bit, give it a little bit of a bump, and that's cool. Yeah, I really don't know. I'm gonna do this one more pass on the video, and then I'll mess around with it after, but I feel like we're making a little progress, but you can still see the discoloration between the paper on both sides of the tide line. Drink up. So I only get about 20-25 minutes of video. So I definitely want to look at the divots. I almost wonder if this paper is so soiled that it needs to be washed. Put a little pressure down to help. Yeah, it's weird. It seems like it's a little better, but what's the backside look like? Yeah, no, I mean, it does seem like it's better, but it looks like you can see, I don't know if you can see right there, but this is lighter up here, and then this is darker down here, so I almost, like I say, the pages might just be so dirty that I'm going to have some interesting thought processes, but it does seem like it's working. It's getting better. So got some work to do there, but this is what I want to see. This, just want to wet that, get some moisture in there, because basically what I want to do here is I want to remind the paper that it doesn't have these divots in it, and see about removing the divots. Basically just flatten the paper back out. I'm going to cheat and get 2 pages here for the trouble of 1. Okay. For this I want to do the same idea. Just want to do that a little bit. Because also you don't want tied lines again on this. Okay. And this is just for the purpose of flattening those divots out. Slight amount of pressure. Slide. First pass. First pass is a lot better. I think I might want to do a second. That's actually really good. But little there. But you see the gist of that. Another little divot there, but I'm not sure if it's exterior or not. But we'll just put a little dab-a-doo-ba-doo. What was that? Like that. That was a little dab-a-doo right there. Dab-a-doo, something to think about. But yeah, that's the gist of the process. I'll just be doing this through a lot of pages, which I will not ask anyone to sit through. I have to sit through it, so I think that's enough. But seal tappy. And this is. I imagine you want to be careful and not put too much heat on the colors, because you might be able to get them to run. But yeah, there's that little crease right up there too. Oh gosh, this just looks dirty. No, it looks better. That little right there. See if I can't press that out before. Because when you get the whole book pressed, it's going to take a lot of this too. I just wanted to get. That's way too much water. I just wanted to get as much of this out as I can to help the press. If we can get a lot of this out ourselves before we put the press on it, and the press will have a better chance to get everything out. So one last run on this one, and then beep, we'll move on. But here's hoping. Yeah, I think that part of the paper might just be tearing. Maybe that's what we're looking at. But I think we can see most of the divots are out of it. There's that one little tiny feller, but the divots are gone. That does look better, but I still have some work to do there. And then we look on the second page. Divots are gone. That looks better, but you can see the discoloration, like I was saying, clean to dirty. So, anywho, I got some work to do on this feller. Thanks for coming by for this one. This is part 2 of this. It's going to be a bit of a deep dive. I have some theories on cleaning those staples that somebody gave me an idea that would be a little less, a little easier to do and a little less dangerous with chemicals and kind of stuff. So we'll get into that shortly. But yeah, thanks for coming by. Any thoughts, ideas, any best practices you guys may have for this type of stuff, please throw it down in the comments so we can help each other out. I would love that. And keep an eye out for part 3. See you soon. Thanks.